Hey, hey, my creative friends. It is time to talk creativity. Hopefully, we will be able to keep the connection for tonight. Let's see. Oh, I'm going to apologize right now. If you hear weeping and gnashing of teeth, it's just Joseph. He's having a little trauma over something. I don't know what. He and Alan are kind of going around, so I heard him crying, and I still hear him crying. So we may get a little interruption there. Mom life. Today we went to the technology museum to see a robot exhibition, and it was very interesting. But what I found is, for me, when I go do things like today, I might have found this really interesting if I could have gone through the museum like I wanted to, but I was going specifically for Joseph because Joseph loves robots and everything else, and I found that I can't get into it. So even though you might think, oh, I'm going to a museum, what a good thing. For me, it's like separate. I'm not really going for me, I'm going for Joseph. So I don't get the same benefit. Just an interesting thought. But today we're going to talk about something else. We're going to talk about anger and creativity, which is really, you can tell these are not really scripted very well, are they? It's, for me, whenever I have been angry, I can't create. Like when I am in the anger mode, when I am just in anything, there's a whole list of anger. I'm gonna just get this. I'm just gonna show you. So for me, it's like it starts out with ruffled feathers, or I can't read that backwards. Can you read that? Anyways, it kind of goes, and then there's anger, and then there's a bunch of stuff underneath it. And there's hatred and rage and viciousness and all this kind of stuff. But I just ripped that right off. So there's a lead up to anger, but I think anger for me is like the cutoff point. It's like, okay, once you get past this, I'm not creative. And it kind of goes a little bit before the anger is the contention. And so for me, those feelings hinder me, into not being able to deliver. And for me also, creativity is one end of the spectrum, and destruction is at the other end of the spectrum. When you go from anger and you go down the line, it ends up being destructive. So that's my view and my personal view. Now, there's another view with creativity, and I think there needs to be a distinction, because I think some of the things I've read, they don't make the distinction. I look at anger, that you can't be creative when you're angry. In my view, what creativity is, as in producing a work. I think, and what other people have alluded to, is that you can be angry and use anger as a catalyst to creativity. Hi, Erica. Hi, Carrie. So I think there needs to be a distinction and a discussion about that. And there's been some research about it too. So for instance, some of the research says, this is from Scientific America, Brett Ford. He says, research found that angry people were more likely to be creative, though this advantage didn't last for long, as the taxing nature of anger eventually leveled out creativity. So what they were saying is that from the sounds of everything, it's like anger's this catalyst, and you get these ideas, and you get these, you're energized, and you have this flexibility, and you don't think in an orderly manner. You don't think systematically, and that totally goes to, what is it, a crime of passion. I mean, somebody does something to you, you can come up with all kinds of ideas how you want to kill them. So I see where, the idea of creativity comes from, because you come up with these ideas, and it's not, but what they found is, anger can only be a catalyst for a short term. It levels out, and it doesn't work. They're very careful to say anger is beneficial because it's really it makes us stop. It's a good headline. But when you read it, it's like anger is good in certain situations, in certain ways, and with certain people. So if people are okay with confrontation, you being angry and confronting them and having that, it will work out okay. And I think it was more, anyway, never mind. So I'll just stick with facts. How about that? Angry participants generated more ideas and more original ideas than the sad and the non-emotional. I can see that. Sadness does not emote positive action-based sort of things. And non-emotional, well, yeah, non-emotional is dead. I mean, not literally, but I mean, it's like a dead feeling, and you don't generate from a dead feeling. Anger is a feeling, and it can generate things, but to me, it's not the place where you actually generate. Now, that's just my opinion. And I think it bears out with the research for long term. And some people who actually feel like that they do creative work because they're angry. Soraya Kemley says, writing has been a mechanism for converting powerful negative feelings into immensely satisfying, productive work. Writing led me to action and clarity, and the anger I felt might overcome me became a vehicle. And so that's, to me, is also saying a vehicle is like, it's leading me there. It's a catalyst. It's pushing me to do this thing. And I don't really feel like people, and the research says that you don't sit in anger creating. So some people might think that's a fine line. I don't think it's a fine line. I think it's a really crystal clear line. Anger can give you ideas and motivate you, and you feel a need and use it as catalyst. And but when you're in the creative moment and you're doing it, I don't think anger can stay with you long. And it says it doesn't stay with you very long. It's short term. Let's see. This benefit, it says like the benefit of the anger was only present in the beginning and not in all and any circumstance. So I don't know. What do you think about the whole idea of anger and creativity? Like I said, in my personal experience, when I can have ideas and think I want to do this, but I don't usually do it when I'm angry. I just can't. I mean, I have a certain skill set. Yes, I can, like when the Twin Towers came down, I remember sitting there going through and doing this little sketch of the Twin Towers in smoke. And I have a skill set that could help me do that. But it wasn't one of my finer works. It was just like an emotive type work. And yes, and that wasn't really anger per se, it was more disbelief. But anyways, I don't know. That's what I've always felt. Anger and contention have held me back when I want to be creative. Though I do see how anger can make you and push you in a direction to want to make a statement, to want to clarify, to want to use your voice, because you're not going to go out and kill somebody or kill some bodies, but you want your voice heard, and so you use who you are and what you have at your disposal to send out a message. Carrie says, when I'm angry, I can sit down and sew, and it calms me down. Okay, so, but how long does that take before you're calmed down, Carrie? That's what I want to know too. Is some of this, it's shorter term, but for me, the anger dissipates because I'm being creative. So I habitually, I can go, I need to like, so I go sit down, but my mood shifts while I'm angry. Does that happen for you, Carrie? Or I can clean and accomplish it. Yep, get us going in that kitchen. Get us going, and yeah, I totally get that too. Yes, so this would be a good discussion to see everybody's thoughts and feelings about this. And from a religious context, we're told to not, contention where it's placed on the things, But then again, I also know we can't just ignore feelings. When we do, there's trouble with that too. So it's just made me think a little bit. Carrie says, how long it takes depends on how angry I am. I get that too. One of the things that I do have notes on is that they said, don't go to bed angry. That was an old thing that people used to say to married couples, don't go to bed angry. And I'm like, are you kidding me? We can't, first off, we can't stay up all night and hash it out because Alan's tired. I could stay up all night and hash it out, but he's like tired, has to get up for work, and no, he can't do that. And second, it's just like, anyways, when you go to bed angry, it's easier for those feelings to be stored in your long-term memory, because that's when the storing in your long-term memories happen. Long-term memories happen because when you sleep. And so that's why they say don't go to bed angry, because it stores those little feelings. Carrie says, I hate that marriage advice. I have always hated it too, because it's just like, you know what, we need some rest. We need to just like let this go for a minute. But then, we'd wake up the next morning and he would be, what were we fighting about? And I would be more angry. So, I don't know. It's a good conversation about anger and about its place and the place that it should be, shouldn't be. I mean, it's part of who we are. It's part of our human experience. So we do have anger times. I was reading, and one of the things I read was about these rage rooms. These rooms where you can go and you can break things, dishes, vases, throw things in, and you just rage for, 20 minutes. And I thought that was interesting. I hadn't heard of that. But the quote from that was, while maybe fun and even humorous, the 20 minutes of relief in these rage rooms provides, what they provide might feel good. In reality, this kind of destruction rarely does anything to alter feelings of anger or to change the conditions that generate anger. In my mind, anger is kind of in the middle point, and maybe the terminology is wrong. Maybe it's I'm more on rage or fury or viciousness or ruthlessness or some of those other, because it's a scale. There's a scale of from 0 to 100. There's a scale of the different emotions that you can feel, and then it escalates. But I do feel like anger at its worst is destructive, and creativity at its best is building and creating. So share your thoughts. It's a good discussion. I'm interested in what you guys think. For now, remember you have a creative heartbeat, so listen for it. And I will be back tomorrow, and I'll read through comments and see what we have to say about this. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.